Hello and welcome back to my project boat Twiggy, where 20 minutes ago when I set off from home it was a glorious sunny day with blue skies, but now, as you can possibly hear, the heavens have opened, the rain is coming down. And far from being annoyed about this is actually quite useful, because it's the first time I've been aboard the boat while it's been in the yard while it is raining, and that means I can have a jolly good look in the back cabin and see if I can spot where all the water is coming in. Rather to my surprise, despite not having been here for a few, must be a few weeks by now, surely, the bilge is completely dry. I was thinking that there would have been enough water. That we have had rain. I would have thought there would be some collecting in there now. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm delighted it's dry. I'm just surprised. It's so inconsistent that sometimes I come and the bilge is absolutely full, and other times, again, when we've had rain, I come and it's dry. So I am still perplexed where the water is coming in, but with it raining, I can have a good old poke around. I've just had a quick look in there. The towels I've put down are dry. The bit in the corner where I'm pretty sure there's a leak, that's dry as well. So whilst it is raining, and we have got, there's grey cloud up there and blue skies over there. So while, here comes the sunshine. Okay, that may have been it, but I'm still going to have a jolly good look and see if I can see where any water is getting in. But look at this, dry underfoot in the cockpit, and I am pretty sure that water in the cockpit is coming from the leak in the back cabin, but that at the moment is dry too, and down there in the bilge it is dry. I didn't actually set out today with the intention of looking for water leaks. In fact, I wasn't intending to come to the boat at all. I was going to repaint my bathroom at home, and I've washed all the walls down ready for paint, only to realise I'd left my paint roller tray here on Twiggy in anticipation sometime last year of doing the fiberglassing, and I thought I'd be rollering out the fiberglass resin. So the paint tray is here, and I thought I can either go to B&Q and buy a new one, or why not just go to Twiggy, do a couple of bits of DIY and bring the paint tray back with me. Now, last time I was here, you may recall I had the gel coat filler that was so sloppy it wouldn't have even filled gel coat on the sides of a boat because it was just running out all over the place. So I've gone back and bought a different Terrason product. It used to be called plastic padding. They've now rebranded as Terrason. I don't know when that happened. But this is the actual marine filler, the thicker, gooey paste that gets slapped into a hole to fill it. So I'm going to have another go at those holes. And also, because you may recall that bilge pump I showed you last time is just too big and clunky, I've bought a low profile bilge pump. Look at this. Super automatic, got a built-in float switch. This thing can rotate around into a couple of positions and it just sits in the bilge. No, I mean, I haven't actually checked to see if it'll go in there yet, but hopefully it will. And I will try to wire that up to the existing little battery, and then if any rain does come in, obviously it can pump it overboard. So that's all I really want to do today, wire in that bilge pump if I can, and fill in some of the holes with the Terrason filler. And then remember, for goodness sakes, remember to go home with the paint roller tray so I can repaint my bathroom tomorrow. Right, let's see. That looks like it should go in. Yes. Oh, yes. Now then, there's a stringer down here somewhere. Let's push that down. Where does that stringer finish? There. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's right at the back, as far back with the sucker bit of the pump right in the lowest point of the bilge, and the outlet just turning slightly to the right. So why can't that turn around a bit more? What's that catching on? I don't know. No, that's spot on. Great. Now, the only question is the existing hose pipe is too big for that hose, but I've got another length of hose somewhere. Anyway, this is going to need a bit of fiddling.
There you go. You can just about see it in there.
Okay, in my classic idiot manner, there's the pump, there's the bit of hose that I had lying around the boat. That does not fit over the outlet. Since I brought my electrical gear with me, I have wired the pump in, put some little clippy things on the end of the wires, and that can all press together, and I've connected it to the battery and it works. And I'm actually going to use the old float switch as a manual override, so the float switch won't be down in the bilge. I'll just have it out here, and if I want the pump to operate, for some reason it hasn't operated itself, I'll lift the float switch and that will then turn it on. That all works fine. And then I thought to myself, I'll just see as the sun has come out again whether that tiny little solar panel on the outside is actually putting any charge into this little battery. And it clearly is, because the battery terminals were showing 17.5 volts. Well, that is too heavy a voltage for charging a battery, which would normally be about 14.6. And clearly that panel, I was hoping too much that it might have some tiny little regulator on it, but it's clearly just taking its 17-18 volts output and shoving it straight into the battery, which I don't think is a good thing. So I've disconnected it for the moment by virtue of taking the fuse out, and the old very basic PWM solar controller that was running the main solar panel here, that is now the panel I've put on Gentian, well, that PWM controller is sitting idle in my shed, so I think I will bring that next time and wire that up so that the panel is not trying to over voltage the battery. What I don't want is, while I'm away, a nice sunny day, too many volts going into the battery and the little battery explodes. That would be bad. So I will try and make that a little bit more sensible as well next time I am here. Despite the intermittent showers, still no sign of water in that corner, which is where I'm pretty sure it does dribble in, being one of the places the water comes in, but it's bone dry at the moment. This is good. One tiny little thing that's been really bugging me in the floor of that back cabin has been this, which is the, what would you call that thing, the mounting thing that the inspection hatch, normally there's a circular disc here that you can unscrew to peer into the bilge, and when whoever it was put the bilge pump in there, they cut a chunk out of it and then cut another hole in the floor so that the pipe coming out of the bilge pump could come out the side. It's ugly as hell having it like that, so I've taken that out. I'll buy another one of the same dimensions and put it back in the same spot, and I will then patch up the hole where the hose came out, and I will make the hose come out from the new bilge pump at a different, more recessed, further back in the floor location, where you're not, I mean, chopping bits out of that. What on earth was that all about? It was so ugly the way it came out. I mean, look at that. You've got the hole in the floor, the big one, that's fine, where you could peer down into the bilge, and then that weird little thing that's right above the stringer anyway, where the hose tried to come out, that then wrapped round to the outside to eject any bilge water. I think that hose could be much better placed coming out of that corner and then up and out the back of the boat there somewhere, so that it's tied in inconspicuous. That I will put back to being a bilge inspection hatch, but just a circular one, not this weird odd thing with the cutout. One useful thing about this is that I can actually see how the floor was made in the boat, which is fiberglass, then some clearly rotten wood, and then some more fiberglass. So it is a sandwich construction, and the wood, it's very thin, probably 5mm or something, and it's coming out here. Now I don't really want to replace, can I get that piece out? Ooh, possibly. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's not a solid piece of wood, is it? I really don't want to replace all the floors in the boat as well. And I suppose arguably I should, but then that would mean cutting out the entire flipping floor from there to there and here to here and everywhere, and that's just going to be a nightmare. I've got enough jobs on, quite frankly, without adding that, so I'm going to pretend I didn't see that bit of wood and shove it back in there, and we'll trust that the floor is fine. If at some point in the future, when I've done the rest of the boat, I fancy replacing the floors, I can still just Dremel them out and fiberglass new floor in, so I'll leave that for another time, I think. In one of my recent videos, someone did say, why do I still have all the cushions on the boat, taking up all the space and having to be moved all the time? And it is a very good question, to which I replied, I have nowhere to store them. But I do have an attic at home, which over winter can get a bit condensation-y and a bit drippy, but now it's summer, probably be okay, I think, to store the cushions up there. So I think I will take them home with me today, and then that will make working in here just a lot easier each week. Each week? Once a month, however often I get here. It is actually lunchtime. I didn't get here till quite late, and for my lunch I brought a Frosties snack bar, an apple and a flask of tea. So not a great deal of lunch, but I think I will have that, and then I will crack on with filling the holes with the not polyfiller, what's it called? Plastic padding. Out of interest, and I don't even know if the camera's picking it up, but that hole which I did squeeze some of that previous liquidy stuff into has actually set quite nicely. It's not flat, it's not done, but that's all right. That's all right. And then the ones I did over here again, it's definitely set hard. It's not flat. Could do with a bit more of that same stuff. So the holes are a little bit filled over there, but clearly not ideal. I've got the same sort of arrangement as before. This is the Terrason Up 610, a little scraper, some hardener and the lid. Weirdly, this has not come with any instructions. It's got all sorts of warnings about it being direly poisonous, but there's nothing about ratio of stuff to hardener. So I'm simply going to assume it's the same as the last one and do 4 to 5 centimetres for one golf ball sized amount of resin. And let's hope that works. Right, here we go then. Certainly smells of fiberglass. There's the gunge. Now, one golf ball sized bit. Is that a golf ball? Let's say that's a golf ball sized bit, for the sake of argument. I know I'm going to need more than that. Shall I do 2 golf balls? Without the instructions, I don't even know what the working time is on this. No, let's play safe. Let's start off with a small amount and see how it goes, especially as it's now quite warm today. So we'll give this 4 to 5 centimetres of hardener. It's about that, isn't it? Yeah, thereabouts. Give it a jolly old mix. Right. It is much thicker consistency than the other stuff. Right, let's assume that's mixed. And I will start by trying it in these holes. Well, that certainly goes in a lot better. Squish, squish, squish. It's filled. Right, to the other side, Batman. To the people saying put a backing on it so that it stops it all coming through on the other side, you're absolutely right, I should. But I'm not terribly concerned about it coming through on the back of the cupboard. And if I really need to, I can just sand it down again on the back, but I don't think I'm too bothered, to be honest. I just want the holes filled. It is a few minutes later, and as you can see, I've exhausted that first golf ball sized mix, and I have done the ones on that side, and I started doing the ones on this side, and 1 golf ball is definitely the right amount to do in the current temperatures, because it was just starting to harden up too much as I got to the end of that. But I've still got a load more holes to fill, so I'll mix up a bit more of that. And somehow I've managed to get all over me as well, and then I suddenly remembered I do actually have a box of gloves there, so I should have used those. And there we go, that's pretty much it for today, I think, given that I only really turned up here to pick up my paint roller tray so I can do the bathroom at home. I'm also going to take home some of the fiberglass bits. I've got all the resin at home, but I hadn't got any of the mixing cups and the stirrers and things, and the transom has been sitting in my bedroom all winter. I didn't want it to get damp on the boat, knowing that I wouldn't put it in until this year. So I took it home. It's been sitting next to my bed, just keeping safe and dry. But I want to put some resin around the edges of the wood so it can soak in and penetrate before I actually fit it. And I will do that at home. So I'm going to take the mixing cups and stirrer sticks and bits like that as well. What is rattling in the back there? I don't know. But yes, that's it for this quick little visit to the boat. Next time I'm here, I mean, if the weather carries on like this, it's sunny today. I think it's only about 14 degrees. It's not quite there, but the next couple of days are supposed to be really good. And if we get good weather like this for the rest of April, May, I can easily foresee me actually gluing the wood of the transom into the back of the boat and doing the fiberglassing over the back of it. So that is certainly to come fairly soon. That's it for now. Cheerio.